Hello, folks. Please like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment if you're so inclined. I know most of you aren't. Most of you are the strong, silent type. That's fine, but just like the video. It helps us out. Enjoy the show.
Stava a succedere no bordello.
All right, what's going on, folks? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to episode 248 of the Bordello. The Italy-England match just finished. Dilo and I are here to break it down in its immediate aftermath. It was not a good game. It was not a good game for our Azzurri side. England beat us 3-1. There is a lot to yell about. Either you're Italian and watching this and this will be cathartic for you, or you're not and you're here to watch and rubberneck. And watch some Italian guy fall apart on air. And that may happen because it's been a fucked up week in the world of Italian football. And you know, this podcast started off because its subject matter was Italian football, and I believe it was able to exist because of the fact that there is a lot of crazy stuff that tends to happen around the game, and there was never any lack of material. Stuff is always going to happen that is crazy and worth talking about. In the world of Italian soccer, in my opinion, I've been following it for a very long time, but this past week feels especially chaotic, and it feels especially all over the map for a number of reasons. First off, let's talk about the fucking most important thing in the world right now. We can agree, by the way, of all the things going on in the world right now, the biggest issue of our time right now is the betting scandal going on in Italy, right? In Italian football. That's the greatest issue of our time currently that we are facing as a society. I'm going to talk about it because it's the most important thing going on right now. Okay? I'm not going to dance on a string and be a puppet and talk about wars in the Middle East and stuff. I'm going to talk about what really matters, which is what a rich gambling addict who plays a sport and bets on sports is having to go through. That is the thing that is personally aggrieving me the most this week. I want you to know I'm a man of the people. It's been made very clear that, while some people did like the last episode on Israel and Palestine and messaged me to say so, thank you for that, but I think I might be, it might be falling on deaf ears, so we're not going to do that every week. Once in a while, I might have to bang the drum and say, look, pay attention to what's going on. But I understand, like, some of the TikTok comments that I get on my videos, I mean, do make me wonder, like, why the fuck I'm even doing this. Like, you know, I'll talk about, I posted one a couple weeks ago, talking about how Italy's changed. Kind of like joking and like satirizing how, hey, bro, you know, Amadou speaks better than you. You know, like Italians abroad, you know, still feel very Italian, but, you know, immigrants now speak better than them. And I just posted that without saying that it was a bad thing. But I think what I realized is a lot of the comments and a lot of the likes were from people who were like, yeah, fuck those guys. That is a problem. And I wasn't saying it was a problem, but I got like the indication, like there were foundations. There were like Italian like pride foundations and stuff, who I won't name, but like fucking like the Brooklyn this and the fucking the Northeast Italian, you know, charity or the Sicilian Education Fund. Like they're fucking liking my shit. And I don't know that these people are all like, you know, understanding the nuance of what I'm saying and the tone, you know. I think they're just hearing, you know, there's a lot of Arabs in Italy now that are talking Italian better than you, bro. And, you know, that's a real issue. We got to kill these people, right? That's how I think they're thinking in their brain. I'm seeing the comments that are like, Balotelli's a disgrace to his adoptive family. Shit like that, you know? So let's talk about Italian football. Sure, that's what you want. You got it. It's a good fucking week to do that. It's a great week to talk about the champions of Europe. That might be the title of the pod, actually. Champions of Europe. It's a great fucking time to be alive, man. And there's a fine balance between there being a little bit of chaos in Italian football, which propels the team forward, and the chaos actually debilitating the team. I think we might be seeing the latter now. There were two huge stories, I think, in the world of Italian football that went down in the past 7 days. We'll talk about those, but we're then going to kind of, I think, look at how, you know, how these things are reflected in the aftermath of the England game. How it reflects on the Italian Football Federation, the Italian Football League, Serie A, Italian football as a whole. Yeah. Those two things are the betting scandal and the fact that Italy's hosting the Euro. Why don't we start there? Italy's going to host the Euro in 2032. So, no fear. No fear. Eventually, we will play in a tournament in our lifetime. Just live another 10 years, you'll see it. So that's good. Can you pull up the table, by the way? Just the table of the current standings in Italy's qualification campaign for the Euro. So just, we can throw that up in the background. But Italy's going to be hosting the Euro with Turkey. Because that's where we're at now. That is where Italian football is at. You understand? They cannot host on their own. They don't have the infrastructure to do so. They need a shared bid with the Turks. Now, I feel like we might have piggybacked on it a little bit because I think Turkey was hell-bent on trying to host a tournament. So maybe this is like a bonus where Italy gets some, you know, games in the Euro and gets to qualify. It's a smart move. They get to fix the stadiums because they'll have to, because they have a gun to their head. You understand? Would love to see how that happens now, by the way. Now that stadiums are going to have to be built so that, you know, the tournament can take place in Italy so that they don't lose hosting privileges and, you know, make a mockery of the country on the global stage. Again, not that any of these things actually matter, but they are the things that people care about and talk about, and they will notice that Italy is kind of, you know, it will appear to be farcical. And again, it is a farcical country in a lot of ways, but just keep that in house. You know what I'm saying? Let people come to visit the Amalfi Coast. Let people go to, you know, Taormina. Let people go to fucking Sardinia, have a good time, and be away from the shit, you know, that goes on from October to April, you know? When the winter scandals are going on, you know? It's important to keep that in-house and let people have their own, you know, their own image of it. It's like parents with the kid, you know, parents going through a rocky relationship, but you put on a strong face for the kids, you know? You put on a strong face for the tourists. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it make the news. You can't have it on BBC News, you know? Italy have pulled out of hosting the European Championship in 2032 because of, I don't know what fucking accent I'm doing here. But fuck it, I'm not doing a good British accent today. Fuck it, not after England beat Italy. That's, you know, Italian Lives Matter. the WAP Panthers. I'm doing the fist right now for people listening. WAP Lives Matter. But that's stupid. but this podcast, by the way, I was telling you before, this podcast is just like an ADHD brain, like just off the rails. That's what it is. It's a stream of consciousness from the brain of ADHD. That's what it is. But anyway, so just to stay on subject here, Italy will have to erect new stadia or keep the bones of their stadiums, but completely renovate them, apparently. And that's good. They will have no choice but to do so now, because the consequences of not doing so will be people becoming aware of what a, chaotic country it is. And people kind of, I think, do know that conceptually, but they really see it to the point that would be Italy having to pull out of a tournament because they can't get stadiums built because the local municipalities are all putting up too much red tape. That would be a really bad look, and it will be prevented at all costs. You know what I'm saying? Now that the gloves are off, the stadiums will get built. Municipalities will no longer be allowed to be picky. Where was this initiative for the last 20 years? You know? Rocco Commisso built a training ground for Fiorentina. And I'm seeing like it get posted about. Like it's a big deal. They're unveiling it. They got his name posted in rock. Or in stone. Rocco B. Commisso. Not a coincidence that his middle name is Benito, by the way. That's a very Mussolini move right there. That's a very cult of personality move. Oh, look. It doesn't say thanks Rocco B. Commisso. It doesn't say Rocco B. Commisso Park. It just says Rocco B. Commisso. His name is posted outside the training ground, which is odd. But anyway, it's being celebrated because he invested money into opening a fucking training ground. Viola Park. He tried to build a stadium, but they wouldn't let him. So he said, fuck it, I'm building a training ground instead. You understand? That's not good. It's not good that he wasn't able to build a stadium, despite wanting to. You have people from abroad saying, listen, we're throwing money at you. We'll build stadiums. Please let us. And they say, nay, nay. So, hopefully that could change now. Apparently, the stadiums not being up to par is the greatest issue of our time within the context of Italian football. Because Gabriele Gravina said the biggest issue right now is the lack of stadium infrastructure. It's true that it's bad. Is that the biggest issue? Is that the biggest issue? Maybe, because if the stadiums are full, then I guess clubs make more money. If they own their own stadiums, I guess they make more money. That helps them, I'm thinking about this in a very elementary way, but more money for the clubs, I guess, is good, right? But I don't think that's what's going to make the difference and get it on par with the Premier League. The Premier League, guys, is leaps and bounds ahead of Serie A, and let me tell you why. The fact that anyone who comes to the defense of Serie A will talk about the tactics of the league and how it's a very tactically woke league. You got to be really sharp. You got to be sharp between the ears to play in Italy, let me tell you. Because they'll sit you down, the coaches will, and they'll give you entire tactical breakdowns of the matches, the likes of which you'll have never seen before. And you'll have the coach of Italy, Luciano Spalletti, one of the great football thinkers in the country right now, say stuff like, you can pull this up here if you want to overlay this, say stuff like he said in a press conference this week, I sent it to you, like talking about how football is 20%, what did he say? Just scroll up. Ball possession is made up of 30% fun, 30%... Why did I lose it? Just pull it up here. Anyway, while you get this figured out, he says something along the lines of ball possession is 30% fun, 30% creativity, and 40% recovering the ball. But then, based on how well you recover the ball, the other, the fun and the creativity could go up substantially. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I get it. It's cool.
Should have listened to you.
Oh, your laptop died, did it? Would you like to go get a charger?
Yeah, let me go get that.
Okay.
Was that like 30% though?
Well, that'll happen when you plug in. That'll happen when you plug it into your phone. I'm an expert at this game, dude. I'm an expert at having my laptop die on me during the pod. This might be a while because D'Lo's barely able to walk right now. Should I talk to myself or should we? We're just going to cut it there. Fuck it. Hang on. We'll be right back. All right. D'Lo's laptop is back plugged in. We got the quote here. So it's ball possession is made up of 30% fun, 30% effort, and 40% of ball possession is the loss of trivial balls and quick recovery of the ball you lost. And then depending on how you do this, how few you lose, how many you regain, there is more effort or more fun. Loss or regaining the ball is a ball ache. But shout out to Uncle Sharma, who was recently on the pod a few months ago for translating that. That's not, that's a pretty, I listened to the actual quote. It's pretty good, He did it in his typical, Spalletti fashion, rambling on about nonsense in a very, in an almost sing-song way. Possesso della palla, il 30%, divertimento, 30%, effort, what the fuck? La sforza. It's not the right word, but whatever. 40% della 40% e la sconfitta delle palle. Sconfitta is a loss. Yeah, this isn't a good look on my livello d'italiano today. But he does go on very long and convoluted sentences, I will say. And again, that's Italian football. Tactical, cerebral, fantastic. Can we fucking play the game quickly if we have to? It appears not. Let's talk about the England game for a sec here. The issue with that game, in the immediate aftermath of it, and this is, by the way, probably like the least important thing that we're going to talk about on the pod this week, because people are going to be listening to this over the course of the next week, and the game will have become an increasingly distant memory. But and I think we will look to focus more on some of the larger macro issues. But in the context of this game in particular, let's just remember that we're playing against an England side who are good, but who we beat in the Euro final quite handily, playing our own way. So you could see that a side like England has a real core. They have a real core. I was telling you this before, right? They know who their players are, and they're playing game in, game out. We currently are in a situation where we're figuring out who the fuck we need and who the fuck we should call up or exclude, who's working, who's not. Then thrown into all this, you have guys getting banned for fucking match fixing or for gambling, which doesn't help. Which does not help. And England play quickly. You could tell that their players play in a better league than in Serie A. By better, I mean it's more in line with the way that modern football is played. The best teams play quickly. Napoli won the Scudetto last year playing quickly, playing like a Premier League team in some ways. When you play quickly, it's just better if you're able to do it, if you're able to execute. And it feels like our guys currently just don't have it in them. Maybe because they don't get the reps, because almost everyone who plays for the Italian national team plays in Italy. It's almost like they just don't play at a quick enough pace ever. And that can be fine if you're able to play at your pace and, dictate the pace at which the match is played. Give it to them. But if you kind of get sucked into a match that is quick and at modern football pace, you look exposed. You look like you have nothing going forward, and your only option is to try to pump balls into the pump balls into the box via crosses. So, that's what we saw. I mean, that's what we saw. We took a 1-0 lead, and then we kind of fell apart. And good on Gianluca Scamacca for scoring a goal, but fuck, I mean, they just fell the fuck apart. And it's like, I would have loved to have seen Gianluca Mancini in that game, just to kill Harry Kane, because that is how you have to play against England. Currently, England, though they don't win tournaments, are still, a good barometer of like what the top international level of play is. Them, Germany, France, Spain. We currently are not. We were in 2021 the way we were playing, you might argue. Currently, we don't have that anymore. It does not help that Sandro Tonali is going to be disappeared off the face of the earth for I don't know how long now. And that's not good. That's a real issue when you don't have a ton of creative modern midfielders. Sandro Tonali is like one of the few guys that's playing in England that's like doing quite well right now at Newcastle. Aren't they one of the top teams in the country right now? Aren't they not? Are they not like second or third place? They're killing it. He's playing 90 minutes a game for them, and he's with it.
They're eighth.
They're 8th. Okay, well, I still think they've been playing well. And to lose him is not good now. Zaniolo, another player who's playing in the Premier League, who's getting those sharp reps, gone, out. We're not Ukraine. You know, if we lose a couple of players, we do have a little bit of depth. Domenico Berardi is a good player. He would get into a lot of the best teams in the world, but there's something amiss. There is a clear lack of coherence in the way that the team plays. And, you know, listen, can you really blame it? Something about England, Matt, like, they're just so much cooler than us now, you know? The players are cooler. The players are more well followed. I know that doesn't dictate a whole hell of a lot. The Italian players are more followed around the world than the Macedonian players are, and they beat us a year ago and tied us recently. But everything about the English national team just feels cooler. The Premier League feels cooler. You know, their best players, Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane, are playing for like two of the best teams in the world. I don't know. Like, they got Central C and shit. They got fucking Dave, you know, like they're operating on a higher level, I think. Just everything about the team is more modern. It's more current. It's more new world. I'm not even kidding. I wonder how much like all these stupid little factors play into it. You know? Just feeling like, yeah, man, I'm English. England is really cool right now. Everyone loves England for our our exports. The only export that people love from Italy is like food. But English culture currently is cooler. It's more contemporary than Italian culture. And I don't know, man. It's like that's enabling the Premier League to be as big as it is. It's like one of the things that is making it as a league interesting to the world. You know? Dave talks about how he's lads with Arsenal players from the same projects, and, you know, said Arsenal players are playing for England. They play in the Prem. They play in the Prem fam. There's a wide range of English footballer. You have the the immigrant background guys. They're cool. Top boy. You got Harry Kane. Yeah, Tottenham. Yeah, right. Got the Cockney. That's kind of cool. There's just a wide interest. You got Jack Grealish, Birmingham. That's how I speak. Peaky Blinders. Like, yeah, like. There's just more coming out of that country that I think is enabling it to, I guess, be at the forefront of football. Maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but it just felt like metaphorical almost to have this like kind of, you know, lethargic country playing against this really cool one right now. I'd rather be Italian than English, because I do think we have it's cool to be proud of any cultures. Most cultures have a lot of redeeming, you know, factors to them, but you do have to kind of look at the practical, like, applicability of Italian culture in matters such as this. Like, sometimes, like, though it is cool to come from a country that's like, you know, vita bella, you know, it's all a little chaotic, everything's corrupt. Yeah, that is cool, and it is a little charming, but it's not productive. And you wonder if the fundamental, like, Italian ethos is what's kind of fucking up the soccer a little bit. And you know, the level of the league, and by consequence, the level of the national team itself. Again, it's not like we don't have players who could have done better in this game. Again, a guy like Gianluca Mancini, I'd have played to kill Harry Kane. He's older, he's more experienced. than Giorgio Scalvini. I like Giorgio Scalvini. Gianluca Mancini's making more tactical fouls, the likes of which we'd see from Giorgio Chiellini, who has helped us beat England in the recent past. Giacomo Bonaventura's on the bench. Good creative player, played well against Malta. Yeah, it's only Malta, but hey, if you're going to call the fucking guy up, right, because you think he's got something and you think he's, capable of creating, you gotta put him in situations where he can do that thing. There's not a lot of creativity with a guy like Brian Cristante in the midfield. And by the way, I don't know that the intention was to play Brian Cristante. We have a real fucking issue right now. Like, we're lacking personnel now. Who is Fabrizio Corona? If you're not familiar with that name, I think a lot of you guys are, but just to enlighten some of the folks that are maybe a little less tuned into what's been going on the last week, Fabrizio Corona is a journalist who over the course of the last week began leaking the names of players who have allegedly been betting and gambling on sports, which I believe in Italy pro athletes are not allowed to do. It has created a real shitstorm and a real headache because as these things have been getting exposed, investigations have been getting launched against these players, and there is a real chance that most every player involved will be banned. Who the fuck is Fabrizio Corona? Where is he from? Zoom in, please. Let's pull this up here. Where is he from? Catania. Interesting. So we got this fucking Sicilian guy. Some fucking... What's his thing? Wasn't he in jail? He's an entrepreneur and playboy. So he's not a journalist. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that he was. He is a former partner and director of Corona's, a photographic agency in Milan. He was involved in the... Can you zoom in, dude? I'm not able to zoom in on your laptop for some odd reason. I don't know what's going on here. So he exposes scandals. He's just he's a clout chaser. He's not even a journalist who's like trying to reveal the truth. He's just doing it for a laugh. He's doing it for the culture. He's doing it for the vibe. In 2015, he was sentenced by the Supreme Court of Italy to 13 years imprisonment and 13 years and 2 months imprisonment. All right, we're having a bit of a tech difficulty here. I don't know. You just stop. Whatever you're doing, you could just stop, Dilo. I'll scroll. It's fine. I'll toggle. But, okay. So Fabrizio Corona's this guy. Just some fucking guy. This is how crazy Italian football is. It's not even like this was like a deep, situation where some journalist got embedded into Italian football and began like getting inside news and leaking it to the press for the sake of journalistic integrity. This is just a guy who went rogue and said, these fucking guys are savages, bro. These guys are fucking degenerates, bro. And the names involved, so Niccolò Fagioli, Niccolò Zaniolo, and Sandro Tonalli have all been accused of having placed bets. They could be facing bans of 1 to 2 years for their actions. Sandro Tonali apparently is going to agree to a plea deal. He might be out for about 10 months. It would see him miss the Euro if we hypothetically qualify. And there's no guarantee of that currently. Currently, we're in third place with a game in hand over the Ukraine. If we beat them...
I read something. If we beat Macedonia, as long as we tie against Ukraine, we're through.
Okay.
Because of the head-to-head.
Let's assume that's true. If we beat Macedonia, that gets us on 13 points. Well, no. No, hang on.
If we beat Macedonia...
Sorry, you're right. Well, all right. We only had to tie Switzerland last year, did we not? And we didn't. Or did we have to beat Switzerland last year?
Them.
Anyway, whatever. We only had to. We had to just... it's funny. I'm shitting on Turkey. Turkey's going to qualify for the Euro. They're like in a really good spot right now. I think they actually did. They qualified today. So that's where we're at now. Italy and Turkey are hosting a tournament together. Italian football is so fucking down bad that they need to resort to using the Turks to host a tournament. But the Turks are doing better than us on the pitch. The concerning thing here is that even if they qualify, there's a real gap right now in level between us and the likes of England. As evidenced by, the thorough dismantling of our team today. Again, the team might look different come the summer if we do hypothetically qualify. But, there's something to be said about how quickly the team fell apart after the Euro. It didn't have to. We're having a hard time finding a new core, and guys who are going to be part of that core are now going to disappear off the face of the earth for a little while. What the fuck, man? Do you think Zaniolo brokered the Italy-Turkey hosting job? Like, he went from Italy to go play in Turkey, and he's like, hey, bro, you can get away with fucking murder over here. Host with these guys. Don't worry about it. I've been gambling fucking nonstop since I got here. I put my name on the fucking websites. They don't give a shit. They're a good partner to have. They won't cause issues. Can we kill Fabrizio Corona? No, but really. How was he allowed to get this shit out? Well, you have more details on what exactly happened. I don't know how this guy got the scoops. He would go on Twitter and shit, or on his Instagram stories and say, yeah, I got a crazy news story for you guys. There's like 20 players in Serie A that are betting, and I have the scoop,
Said he came from a family of journalists.
He came from a family of journalists, so it's in his blood. He just got the itch. And he decided to ruin a couple of guys' lives. These guys need to appeal forever, and they need to... Like, when I get a ticket in the mail, I appeal forever. I just defer. I defer. You defer the fucking case until you get your demerit points back, and then you just, you cut a deal. That's what these guys have to do. They have to defer. They got to play in the Euro, if we do hypothetically qualify, and then they got to just cut a plea deal. If the FIGC actually comes out and bans these guys, they're missing the point. You don't get it. When you are the federation, you make the rules. You could decide, if you're important to us, we give you friendly sentences. The UFC just cut ties with USADA last week because Conor McGregor is juiced to the gills right now and wants to come back and fight, and USADA wouldn't let him. And the UFC said, hey, stop being gay. And they were like, no, we're very gay. We're very gay, thank you very much. We like it up the ass, and fucking we like it hitting our prostate. That's how we like it. Right up the ass. That's where we take it. And the UFC said, see ya, homos. We're homophobic. Get the fuck out. We don't like your kind. Because they could do that. They're the organization. Is betting illegal in Italy? It might be. That's an issue. If it's a federal case, that's not good. But, can you just get them? At that point, just pull a Berlusconi. Statute of limitations. Defer. Cut a deal. No prison. Just, a slap on the wrist. A pee-pee whack. The FIGC has the power to come out and, set an example here. And the example should not be we're coming after you if you gamble. The example should be, hey, listen. If you're important to us, we got your back. Now, if you're some poor bastard who just signed for Sassuolo, we'll make an example of you. We'll kill you if we have to. We'll hang you. But if your name is Sandro Tonali, sorry, no. Is it a FIFA ban that they would face, or is it a FIGC ban? Because that's relevant. If the FIGC is saying you're banned from taking part in our activities, that is one thing. Or do FIGC bans apply to FIFA? You understand what I'm saying? That's where it gets a little weird to me. That is where I think it's relevant to know what exactly is going on here. I'm sorry?
It's with the FIGC.
Yep. So Niccolò Fagioli today was banned for 7 months for betting violations. Interesting. So he could play at the Euro. hypothetically. Juventus midfielder Niccolò Fagioli was banned for 7 months by the Italian Soccer Federation on Tuesday for betting violations. Fagioli agreed to a plea bargain with the Italian Federation, which included therapy for gambling addiction. Ha fatto bravo! That's what you gotta do. You gotta claim addiction. You gotta play the victim. You gotta play the victim. You gotta say, I'm helplessly addicted to this. I'm sucking cock. I'm running out of money. I'm fucking sucking dick for fucking money so I can gamble. That's what he's gotta claim. You understand? Apparently, I know some people in Turin who were saying that everyone knew about it. Like, he had friends who would just place bets for him. His issue was he actually registered with his own name on a few accounts. So, he's helplessly addicted, you see. He couldn't help it. That's the move. How's the lighting, by the way? Does it look odd?
It's fine.
Feels like it's dark around here. Anyway. Am I orange on the...
You were before, but now that it's dark...
I was a little orange, but now we're good. Okay, interesting. So, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Like, the Catholic Church would have never allowed this to happen. Do you understand? The Catholic Church comes out and they kill their adversaries. They keep stories under wraps. You understand? The FIGC might have known about this, and now they're caught between a rock and a hard place. I hope to God that the FIGC knew about this and was trying to keep it quiet, and this fucking guy decided to go public with it. But if that's the case, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't hire a hitman and take him out. You know? Or just run him over with a car. Just keep him in the hospital so he can't tweet, you know? Pay a little visit. Someone just smothers him like fucking, you know, like in The Godfather Part 2. Where someone went to like smother Hyman Roth in the Cuban hospital. You know, make it look like he just died. He stuck him to his injuries. Oh, well, you know. Freak accident. Oh, well. And you know what? Everyone knows. When that happens, everyone knows it was a hit. But everyone kind of respects it a little bit. You want to send a message? That's the fucking message you send if you're the fucking VGG. That is the message you send. If you come for us, we'll kill ya. You understand? You gotta behave like the church sometimes. You gotta take the lessons of the church. There's value there. There's real fucking value to what the church espouses some of the time. So, he was fined €12,500. You know the thing that's killing him the most about that is he's saying, bro, if I fucking put €12,000 on this dude, if I fucking put €12,000 on XY bet, I could have paid for my next trip to Mallorca. You know he's thinking that, right? Because that is how these guys' brains work. Apparently Zaniolo bet on Roma games that he was on the bench for. And I get it. You might say that's not a good look, but that's fine. It's not like he's out here betting against his team, you know? I saw a quote that Buffon recently came out and said, you know, Fagioli's he's a great player. He's a great lad, too. Buffon, the biggest, you know, fucking gambler of our time in all of sport, came out and said he's a good lad. He's got what it takes, you know? The FIGC knew about Buffon's betting. If I knew about Buffon's betting in like 2010 because my uncle told me about Buffon's betting, the FIGC knew about Buffon's fucking betting. Nothing happened. The problem is this fucking rat, Corona, came out and said, I want people to talk about me. And the biggest thing I could do right now is no name him. Like fucking, I don't know, like God in Judaism. Like where I just don't write the name. I don't draw it. I don't draw him, you know, like in Islam with the prophet. Like he's he who shall not be named. He's Voldemort. That would be the best thing to do in this case. They're like, he's like a school shooter. You just don't name him, you know? I want to be famous. Let me shoot up these people. Fuck you. No one will ever know who you are. I ain't saying your name. You know what I'm saying? Bury it. Same idea. I'm really annoyed by this whole thing. It's not good. Here's why it's a problem. It shows that the Italian Federation is weak. It shows that the Italian Federation is weak. They should be coming out and killing people if necessary. Once they find out that this guy's, you know, got any intention of fucking going public with a thing, you end his life. That's all. And if you don't, that's fine. You could be taking the principled approach, but you don't mean business. You know? So, I feel like the FIGC only means business when it comes to things to do with their own, like, funding and sponsors and shit. And this is not just a primary concern of theirs. I don't think they want it enough. And here's the thing. You could hire a hitman in Italy quite easily. You could hire a hitman very easily in Italy. You know? They wouldn't be the first. The church used to use the mafia all the time to do its dirty work. So, you want people to fucking fear the Italian Federation again? You gotta turn into the mafia. You gotta turn into the Catholic Church. So, that's the only way that people are gonna fear Italy again. You need to become all powerful. There needs to be a threat of violence and repercussion. You know what I'm saying? We got less money? That's fine. We fucking take it. Numbers appear out of thin air. Oopsie daisy. How did that happen? I don't know. Shut up and take the money. You know what I mean? So, use the mafia to wash money and build stadiums. Buy off local politicians. You got to do it the right way. You got to do it the way that works best in the country in question. So, you gonna watch the UFC fight this weekend?
Yeah.
The UFC card.
Yeah.
It's in Abu Dhabi. Just go Maniscalco. Where's this fucking fight this weekend? It's in Abu Dhabi. You heard of this place? Apparently they got these fucking thoughts going to Abu Dhabi. It's like a Muslim Islamic country, but the women there all got fake tits and shit. What's happening over here? You believe? What's wrong with people? What, do you not love God? What, do you not love Allah? What, are you disrespecting Muhammad? What's wrong with you? A lot of Muslims on that card. They stack the Abu Dhabi cards with Dagestanis. Don't suspect there's going to be a lot of Israeli flags in the cage next week. I hope one guy does. I wish Paulo Costa was fighting, because he would do that just for fun. You know? Oh, man. Volkanovski's such a nice guy, too. How great would it be if he just turned heel and was like, I fucking disavow the Palestinian people, mate. I was staying with fucking Israel. You know, that's what I fucking think. I was listening to Ben Shapiro today, just because that's how I support Israel. That's how I show support for Israel. Is by listening to Ben Shapiro and by going to Falafel Saint Jacques, the Israeli falafel place in Montreal. That's how I show support for the Israeli people. I show support for Palestine by watching Fauda, a show on Netflix that I started watching this week, which kind of, you know, humanizes both sides of the plight. Granted, the only Palestinians in the show are terrorists, but, you know, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part either way, all right? I was listening to Ben Shapiro today. Apparently, the Daily Wire's launching a streaming service for children, because they think that, like, you know, Disney's going woke and shit, so they're fighting back and saying, you know, subscribe to our service. We got original content and we got the rights to shit. It's safe for your kids. I tell you what, I'd let my kids watch that shit. Because, you know, they're going to get exposed to a lot of left-wing stuff in the world. Worst case, they get exposed to right-wing shit as well, and then it's just balanced, right? Best case scenario, it's like, you know, just normal. Like, it's like not political. It's just apolitical, which is what they claim. But I wish it were right-wing. You know, that'd be funny, you know? It's like, you know, like, I don't know, fucking Disney's going a little silly right now. I don't know. I don't want my daughter to watch the transgender Snow White. I'll buy the Daily Wire streaming service, you know? Thinking it's going to be just, like, you know, standard, nonpartisan shit. Then my kid just comes out and is like, just starts disavowing Hamas. You know? I'm at dinner, you know? My kid's like, did you know that Hamas is a terrorist group and that 55% of Israelis, 55% of people in Palestine and in the Gaza Strip support Hamas? You know? I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? She's like, did you know that in Hamas's raison d'etre, did you know that Hamas's raison d'etre is stated as being to eradicate Jews off the face of the earth? And I'm like, what the fuck you been listening to? You know? Oh fuck. Yeah, it's a real mess with it. I will say this: watching that show, Fauda's made me realize that like Arabic is a very it's actually a much more like chill language than a lot of people think. You know, I don't know, like when I was a kid, I used to think Arabic was a very harsh language, right? But you know, now I've realized that it's really like it's kind of chill. Like they use God. They throw God into the language a lot, you know? Like hello is to say hello, to greet each other, they go salam alaikum. It's like may peace be upon you. Then one guy answers like alaikum salam, and it's like in the fucking translation is like may the mercy, peace, and glory of God be upon you. And it's like what the fuck? It's like peace be upon you. May the peace, glory, and mercy of God be upon you. It's like a competition. It's like fuck you, fuck me, fuck you. Peace be upon me. Well, fucking may the mercy, the peace, and the love of God upon you in the name of Allah. Like all, it's they're using God like in very positive, productive ways. You know. Then in Italian, what do they say? Madonna Cristo. It's like when we implement religion into the language, it's like fucking it's for horrible shit. You know, French, Escaulis. You know. I was thinking like a French joke. No one's gonna get this. People don't understand French, but it's like en arabe, you know, il parle de Dieu dans une manière très positive, you know. En français, quand est-ce qu'on parle de religion? Qu'on est en Christ, esti. You know, like like literally, when I'm pissed off, on est en Christ. We're in Christ. That's what it like verbatim. You know, it's religion gets thrown into other languages a little more, you know, in a more vulgar way almost. You know, I looked it up. I looked up fucking Arabic, dude. It's Elena or something like that. Elena. Like it's not even satisfying to say that. Elena. You know, like nah, it doesn't give you any of the satisfaction. You need the aggressive, you know, the K sound. You know, the fuck, cazzo, hey Chris. You know. Cabron! Fucking think of every dude, rattle it up, every language, dude. Chinga su madre. Puta su madre. Puta su madre. Carajo. You know? Elena. It's not fuck, that's like, you know, it's pussy juice or something. What?
It's a compliment.
Elena. How's the food? Elena. No, it's kind of a nice language, you know. Low key, like unironically, I'm not actually kidding, you know. Who's come out in support of Israel? Who's come out in support of Palestine? Like among whores. I want to know which whores have been on which side. So Palestine have got they got Mia Khalifa, they got the Hadids probably. I assume Bella Hadid probably. Israel has Kylie Jenner, but then she took down her post, but she said I stand with Israel. Basically, all the people that are rich in LA, you know, all the women that get plastic surgery in LA probably stand with Israel because they were done by Israeli doctors. You know what I mean? Who's come out in support of Israel? Let's compare. Which whores have come out for Israel? Which whores have come out for Palestine? The funny thing is too, like it's all just it's how many haram girls are gonna come out in support of Palestine? You know, Bella Hadid fucking posing in her underwear, Mia Khalifa the porn star. You know, then it's like all the Israelis, all the ones coming out in support of like Israel, are a little more you know, Israel the more like, you know, social democratic country. They're a little more like fucking conservative, like, right? Like Candace Owens, the militant ones, right? Like. Candace Owens, support of Israel, anti-Hamas, you know, because Hamas is in line, you know, or Black Lives Matters like Hamas, and Candace Owens hates Black Lives Matter, so she hates Hamas, so she likes Israel, and she's really conservative, but Israel's actually a socially, like, liberal place. Then Hamas, the really fucking, like, you know, the really, like, fundamentalist place, they got the support of all the fucking putan, you know? That's what it feels like. The Kardashians can be counted in the Israeli camp, I would assume, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Justin
Bieber. Okay. Justin Bieber. I'm more interested in female whores, but I would assume that Haley's probably, you know, on board with it. It's a little, I want to call another man's wife a whore, but I mean, you know, I'm just I think that's what Hamas would say, not me, you know? Who else we got? Is that about it in terms of... What about the porn stars? What porn stars have posted what? I feel like all the porn stars are just super free Israel. Like Black China. What does Black China have to say about Hamas? So stupid. Oh my God. It's at times like this that you realize that it's so stupid to support a national team that isn't in line with your, you know, ethnicity or nationality or cultural background. Like, you have a lot of Lebanese guys that like Brazil. That makes very little sense to me. Because what if Brazil came out and started doing genocides and killing all the Chinese people in Brazil? You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of them, but like, what if they were full-on camps and shit, throwing them into the ocean, you know, interning them in the Amazon jungle? And then it's like, you know, the whole world is like disavowed Brazil, and the only people that are still pulling for Brazil are Brazilians and like Lebanese guys who like Brazil. It's like weird, you know? Like, thank God nobody likes Israel that isn't Jewish or Israeli. You know what I'm saying? But like, imagine if you just had like a weird guy, like, who's like, you know, there has to be some random guy in Norway that's like a fan of Israel, the national team. Like, he watches their games. Why? I don't know. But it's a little weird, you know, for that reason. What do you got? What are you finding?
Not finding much. All the headlines are Mia Khalifa.
She's really stolen
Yeah.
the headlines
I don't
on
know
that
how
front.
else to look it up. Porn star support.
Yeah. If there's one
all
person
Mia
that should be
Khalifa.
supporting Hamas, it's the guy that got fucked wearing a hijab after the Charlie Hebdo attacks. I think that was her claim to fame. I think right after the Paris bombings and shit, she put on a hijab and she took her tits out. That's what she did. So, I don't know, bro. There's a real case to make that you know, people like her should go to Palestine right now and just see what happens. You know, like, there's a case to make, right? Like, if, like, just because the West has like kind of like unanimously said we're Israel. Like, individuals within each state have said what they've said. But, like, as a state, most countries have said, yeah, okay, in the West, we're pro-Israel. So she's like, fuck it, I'm not welcome here. Let me go back. Let me go back to the Middle East. You know, what is she, Lebanese? And she, whatever. And she's like, you know what? I want to show support for them. She goes to fucking post up in Gaza. And, or the West Bank. You know, Gaza's a little unrealistic. But, well, with it being, like, enclosed and all. Maybe into the West Bank, you know? And you do have Hamas sympathizers in the West Bank who would rape her. No, but really, but they would say, oh, well, you're a whore. This is what you want, right? Like, all the things that, like victim blaming and shit, all the things that people like that kind of, like, disavow and say, this is disgusting, you know, we need to sexually liberate. She would go, but good on these, like, freedom fighters, she called them. And she would then go to the West Bank, and Hamas would sodomize her. That is what they would do. I saw, dude, apparently, I said, can you pull up this, fuck, I'm just thinking of this now. Pull up this quote from the Egyptian government that I sent to you. This is something I saw the other day. Look at this. So Israel is encouraging citizens of Gaza to flee because Israel right now is, I think, ruthlessly looking to strike back against Hamas in the war against them, and I guess in an effort to try to avoid as much, you know, citizen collateral damage as possible, are trying to get people to leave. Here's what the Egyptian president said. That's great. Calls for an escape route for Palestine. Sorry, it's a little far. Start again. You zoom in? Yeah, great, thanks. Calls for an escape route for Palestinians from Gaza have been rebuffed by Arab neighbors. Quote, "It is important that the Palestinian people remain steadfast and present on their land," Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said. "It is important that they remain steadfast and stay the fuck out of my country." that's what he said. Apparently they've been like rejecting citizens at the border, which is not good, not a great look. These poor people cannot catch a break, it seems. Yeah, I don't know. It's real fucking complex. But here's the thing: is it doesn't matter. What matters is Niccolò Fagioli got banned for 7 months for match fixing, and that is the most important issue of our time. It's the most important piece of news going on in the world today. Yeah. Like, does Hamas write all their statements out? How do you think, like, who writes their statements? You know what's, I was writing on ChatGPT yesterday. I was writing something on ChatGPT, for my girlfriend. I was drafting something for her, and I realized, like, I'm pretty good at, like, getting it to say what I want, but there are some lines that it won't cross. It's always funny to me when it, like, won't cross, like, a fucking, there are lines it won't cross. Like, if you ask it to, like, write, I actually did, you know what the first thing I did on ChatGPT was? The first thing I ever did on ChatGPT, and I'm thinking about this because I'm thinking of, like, you know, like extremist doctrine. The first thing I did to see how good this thing is and how unpartisan and impartial this thing is, I said, please write me a manifesto in the style of a neo-Nazi. And it said, sorry, neo-Nazism is wrong. So it's like, it's programmers like wrote into it, no Nazi shit. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to see if it would do it, and it did it. And that to me means dude, that the fucking like ChatGPT could be programmed to just say horrible shit, you know? It's always fun to me when it, like, refuses tasks, right? Like, no, sorry, I can't do that. I'm not programmed to say that shit, you know? Like, it's even too much for a robot, you know? It's like, even no, I won't say anti-Semitic shit. It's like, okay, fine, fair. That's where we want to draw the line. That's fine, you know? Like, what if you could just, like, hack it? What if Hamas, like, hacked it? It was like, you know, it was like, if Hamas is using ChatGPT, you know, in their manifesto, you know, like the Arabic version of ChatGPT just, like, refuses to talk about, like, the gays, you know? Oh my god, you know? Just Islamic fundamentalist ChatGPT. Islamic fundamentalist ChatGPT would fucking just shit all over our fucking pussy ass ChatGPT, dude. Islamic fundamentalist ChatGPT would take it upon itself to just take down the entire regular ChatGPT system, like a suicide bombing almost, you know? Just bomb it. And the only ChatGPT would just not talk about, like, it just wouldn't acknowledge Israel as a state. You know? Fuck, dude. Just ChatGPT with no moral compass, you know? What's going on in the Middle East right now? Or please write a summary of what is going on in the Middle East right now. And they go, it all started, you know, it all started 100 years ago when the great Palestinian jihadis were invaded by these dogs, these Jewish dogs. It's like, whoa. All right, listeners, that's all I got for this week. I appreciate you taking the time. Follow me at I'm Sam Adamo. Give the pod a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. D-Lo, anything you want to say?
Free beans.
Free Nicky Beans.
Free Nicky Beans.
Nicky Beans, dude. We're going to start calling him Nicky Beans. It's a great fucking mob nickname. I like it. The Italian mafia in New York would have never allowed that to happen. They would have said, bro, did you hear what happened to Nicky Beans? Bro, they got Nicky Beans. Is Nicky Beans going to sing? Nicky Beans would never sing. Bro, I heard Nicky Beans is going to cut a plea deal. They're giving Nicky Beans 7 months. He better not take the fucking deal. I'm going to come after fucking Beans. Nicky Beans would never. The news. Niccolò Fagioli takes the deal. Fucking Beansy. Fucking Beansy. We're gonna fuck his wife, dude. We're gonna fuck this motherfucker up, dude. I can't believe Beansy did this. I'm gonna call him Beansy for the rest of the time now. I love that. The national team's not very good, guys. There's potential to be good. Currently, we're not. That's what it comes down to. And the federation's not making it any better. And unless or until they start being willing to cut corners and create an environment that enables them to succeed, they will continue to be at war with their own federation, and nothing good's going to come of anything anytime soon. Unless this is just what they need to go on a run at the Euro. If only they just qualify first. In bocca al lupo a tutti noi. Alla prossima. Ciao.